Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy, the Problem Child. I told you so. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you. I just told you. Hardcore justice. What can I say about it? Let's start with the positives here. Let's start with the positives, because I just don't want to make this seem like I'm beating down on it. So the positives were, you got to see a lot of old wrestlers that you probably haven't seen in 10 years or 7 years or whatever. The crowd seemed like they was into it. A bunch of friends got to see each other again. Wow. The Dreamer Raven match was passable, being good, just passable. It was just passable. Too cold school. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to not make this sound like this is a bad review, like I'm ripping them apart. But the pay-per-view was horrible. What the hell was she thinking, Dixie? What was you? You got a bunch of people on the TNA talent that could have been wrestling out there, and you didn't do it. Why the hell did ECW need another send-off? Last standing. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, but let's get started. Okay, the first match we see Taz come out there and saying here's whatever the hell it was. Okay, it was kind of like, okay, you could tell it's a touching moment. Okay, and then you had like the FBI versus those guys. The matches was boring. They had a dance off. I hate seeing that on WWE. TNA disses WWE for doing that. TNA fans, ECW fans, diss that when they do it in WWE. What makes you think I want to see that in ECW? Let's be honest. I don't care what they call it, hardcore justice. This was ECW Last Stand. That's what the fucking pay-per-view was. And for any idiot that's going to say, well, they're copyrighted, we know what it was. We know, Dixie Carter, you're an idiot. You got your daddy's money, so all that's going to happen is that if Vince come up with a lawsuit, you're going to go, Daddy, Vince is suing me, the big bad monster, save me, save me. Come on, let's be honest. It was a fucking... Let's be honest. What it is, okay? It was an ECW fucking pay-per-view. That's it. It was an ECW pay-per-view. And, just some amazing shit happened. And the next match was like Too Cold Scorpio and C.W. Anderson. Really? Like, where the fuck did they pull those guys from? You know what I'm saying? Where were they buried at? Boy, if you wanted to see old guys wrestle with pop bellies and beer guts, this was the pay-per-view for you. This was the perfect pay-per-view for you. I don't see it. If anything, I think the pay-per-view should have been a passing of a torch. You had the young guys at TNA wrestling these old guys, winning some of the matches, losing some of the matches, and that way it looks like they're passing the torch on to TNA. Like ECW, WWE may have got the name, but we are passing the torch to these guys. These are our adopted children. These are what we're going to call our adopted children, not what they have over there in WWE. They're more like, that's what they should have tried to do. Is the but anyway, Too Cold Scorpio and C.W. Anderson. What the fuck was going on there? And oh my God! And the thing that got me was Taz said Too Cold Scorpio was the inventor. He the one that crossed over Lucha Libre. Bullshit! 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 Lucha Libre has always been there. Where the hell Too Cold Scorpio turned it over? Anyway, the match was horrible. Dude, I'm not going to tell you who won. Really? It doesn't matter. We know Too Cold Scorpio wins. But does it really matter? Really? What does it count for? What does it count for that? Who won or whatever? Then another match I would like to talk about was just the Sandman came out after the match. You know, and boy, does the Sandman look bad. Wow, what the hell has happened? The Sandman looks terrible, ladies and gentlemen. He looks... I seen it, and I just... Wow, he looks terrible. But they did a little promo there, blah, blah, blah. He hit... what was his name there? He hit CJ, but I'm going too far. I'm going too far, because, before that was the PJ and the PJ or the ball, not balls, but the Just Incredible versus Stevie Richards, and I have to honestly say this was with the Blue WO who couldn't wear the shirts because WWE owns the shirt, but. Wow. Talk about terrible. Talk about terrible. It was just god awful. This pay-per-view. You had I don't even know where to go to next, man, really. You had Spike Dudley, Rhino, and Al Snow. What the Al Snow was in good condition. Spike Dudley, I thought, was in good condition. Rhino, I'm sorry, those are not muscles anymore. That's just pure fat now. And I'm not trying to criticizing him on his weight, but if you're going to do a pay-per-view that's going to be the final stand, I think you want to look in your best shape that you can possibly look in. And the match was okay. They had some moments that you go, oh, yeah, this is nice. And then but it had more down spots than cheering spots in it. You had Axel and Cojones. Well, I think we know he can't use Balls Mahoney anymore. I think we do know that he can't use Balls Mahoney. So we had Axel and Balls Mahoney versus the Dudleys. Because let's be honest, that's what it was. The Dudleys are Team 3D. The match here I thought was going to be a violent, very violent match. I really did. I thought it was going to be one of the most violent matches that they could bring forth. The Dudleys, they came out in the original tie-dye, old school. They didn't have the bow ties, but, I would have loved to see the bow ties, too. But, yeah, they came out with that. And they put it on fire, slam Cajon and balls, I don't know, man. But it's just, Axel, he looked too out of shape. Cajones or Balls Mahoney. Everybody in that match, except for the Dudleys, who's wrestling still, the match just looked out of shape. They're fighting with lightsabers, and I criticize WWE, I criticize TNA for doing this, so I'm going to criticize these old people. I'm not going to be like some of these people, it was a great pay-per-view, the pay-per-view was amazing, because it wasn't. You go after that, the gangsters come out, and Wow, Mustafa. I mean, if you really wanted to see a bunch of old fat guys and wrestle still and try to recapture their youth, this was the pay-per-view for you. This was the perfect pay-per-view. And New Jack looked like he couldn't handle a fucking thing. New Jack. And I don't know, man. I'm sorry, guys. This pay-per-view was just terrible. And I have to honestly say it was terrible. And then you had the gangsters doing their thing, beating them down and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they hugging it out, and all of them come up, raise each other hanging. But then after that, then it's finally the Dreamer and Raven. Raven won the match. The wrestling was terrible in that match. I mean, God, you know Tommy Dreamer has, wow, and Raven, they didn't bring their A game. They really didn't bring their A game. They did what Hogan and Flair did when they finally got in the ring in TNA. Lay there and bleed like stuffed pigs. That's what they did. I didn't feel nothing from this match for just two guys wrestling because they needed a payday. And then you had RVD versus Sabu. So I mean, RVD wins. People are gonna say this match was the best match of the night. Honestly, I was falling asleep on it myself. So if it was the best match, then I probably was just too tired to notice it. And then with all the other shit that was before it, maybe they should have did that match first to wake us up. But overall, they had no business. I am expecting Vince McMahon to go ahead and sue the pants off of Dixie Carter and TNA. Plus take that footage of ECW and burn it and make sure it never existed. Because all it was ECW Last Stand. TNA presents ECW The Last Stand. So that's all it was. Let's be honest, we're not going to kid ourselves. And the pay-per-view, it was horrible. It was horrible. And if you say that it wasn't, you're a liar. So it's your boy, The Problem Child, saying peace, one love, I'm out. So bring on the hate mail from all you guys that's going to say this was the best. But they already had a last stand. They already had that one night stand. The last one, ECW, WWE. And they did a better show than what the hell this was. And if they went to Philadelphia, I think Philadelphia would have rioted them out the fucking building. They would have rioted them out. I think Philadelphia would have been just trying to get those guys and beat the hell out of them in the ring, in the thing like they used to, just so they can. This match was just terrible. It was terrible. They should be ashamed of themselves. I hope they ain't holding their heads high and twittering and saying that this was a great pay-per-view, because this was the worst. This was an abomination, and I'm gonna try my best to erase this pay-per-view that I watched out of my mind. Peace, love, stay true. I'm out.